Hi again, and welcome to another session of I Wonder, this exploration of why people think the Christian faith is reasonable and a belief in God is reasonable in small sound bites. My name's Murray. I'm the pastor of Remuera Baptist Church, and thank you for joining me. Last week we looked a little bit at the whole topic of faith, and a sense that faith is actually a very ordinary, everyday kind of thing. But faith is also something that God really, really wants. And one of the things the Bible seems to say is that the faith that people have is incredibly prized by God. He looks for it. He loves it. And in fact, he set up the whole system of the world so that faith in him, which is trust, can actually be formed. But some people say, you know what? If God just showed himself to me, I'd believe. If God just spoke to me in an audible way or blazed across the sky words saying, I am real, I will believe him, you know. So obviously, because he doesn't, that means he's not real, or even if he is real, he doesn't actually want anything to do with me. So that's often something that people will say and that I've heard. Why doesn't God show himself? Why isn't he visible? Why is he hidden? Why is he silent? And why is he unfair? Well, there was a time in the history of the world where God wasn't silent and he wasn't hidden and he was completely fair. There's a place in the Bible, in a book called Exodus, which talks about the nation of Israel as it comes out of slavery in Egypt and is taken under a leader called Moses to a new place. But along the way they had to go through quite a long walk through wilderness to get there. And in that place in history, in that place in time, God was not hidden. He was incredibly visible. He was seen in blazing fire. He was someone who was a pillar of smoke and by day and a pillar of cloud fire by night. So very, very visible. And he was also not silent. He would speak to Moses and he would guide people through different means. If people got up in the morning and said, God, what do we do? Do we break camp today or do we stay put? They'd only have to look at his visible pillar beside them and they would know what God wanted them to do. So he was visible. His guidance was absolutely clear. Do we go? Do we stay? Very, very visible. And also there was some 600 rules about how to do life well as well. So his guidance was very clear. Was God unfair? No, he was completely fair. In the sense that he had a whole list of expectations. If you followed them, you would be blessed, and if you didn't, bad things would happen. So he was incredibly upfront and incredibly clear in his guidance. So in this particular time in history, consider it in some ways an experiment. God was absolutely visible, absolutely audible and clear, and absolutely fair in the way that people did life and the outcomes of their decisions. What was the result of God being absolutely visible, clear and fair? Well, within 50 years, the whole nation of Israel had descended into absolute chaos. It seems, looking back on this time, that God's absolute clearness and visibility and expectations being clear and guidance didn't have the result of helping people grow up. Instead, they became like kids. They didn't step out on risk. They didn't go on adventures with God. They just looked to see what God would do next and were waiting on his every instruction. So this little experiment, if you like, from history seems to show that God's visibility and his clarity and his presence and his absolute fairness in the way life is ordered, has bad results in the lives of people. They became stuck in infant mode, waiting for the next instruction from their parent, you know. And we find too that even in the life of Jesus, when he did amazing displays of power that should have made people say, "Ah, this is someone very, very special," it didn't have that effect. Instead, they found new reasons to disbelieve him, or they became addicted to miracles. And that's all they wanted. But that's not what God wants. He wants faith. He wants people to search for him, to trust that he's there, and to step out in each day saying, "God, I don't know what's going to happen, but I believe you're with me, and today is going to be great because you are." And that's what the life of faith is. So why is God hidden? Why is God silent? Why does God sometimes seem to be unfair? Well, the other way didn't work. This way is a way that leads to maturity and growth and a life of growing partnership with the God that we trust. Hopefully that's been helpful. Feel free to leave some comments as always, and be interested to know what you think. But until we talk again, take care. God bless. Bye for now.